Last month, during a weekly meeting of the Yarmouth Board of Selectmen, one of the topics on focus for the night was the review of a drafted letter to the Department of Environmental Protection. The letter strongly opposes the DEP's newly proposed Title V and Watershed permit regulations. Title V of the State Environmental Code requires the proper siting, construction, and maintenance of all on-site wastewater disposal systems.
I think the most critical issue that we're pointing out in this correspondence is that we have worked in partnership with the Department of Environmental Protection and all of the associated agencies, our regional government, to establish a comprehensive wastewater management plan and developing the most efficient solution to reduce our nitrogen to the TMDLs, those maximum daily loading amounts. And we have a proposal that's on the table to start phase 1 of that remediation at this town meeting. And after working for several years with the DEP and then spending at least $5 million to date on developing this program, it just appears at the 11th hour, new regulations are proposed which confuse the issue, introduce an element of the potential installation of the alternative, innovative septic systems that, based on the TMDLs that we have for our particular watersheds, these systems won't meet the water quality guidelines that we set forth.
The new proposal would require maintenance after 20 years, while the current enacted plan was scheduled to last 40 years, leaving each homeowner to cover an estimated $30,000 in expenses on septic upgrades and the town to face a deficit estimated at $1 billion in accommodations.
We're not the only ones that oppose this. I mean, there are towns all throughout the region that are opposed to it. Mostly the officials, boards of health, have raised some very valid objections and concerns about this proposal as being unworkable. I read a letter the other day from the Coalition for Buzzards Bay, and they came out strongly against it. And again, for folks that are watching, there are legislators now that are filing bills to halt this and to stop this and to prevent it from going forward. And if it does go forward in any form, that the state pay for it, the state fund it.
It's just surprising, and it's, in my judgment, not really a practical or well thought out plan on DEP's part.
After many revisions at each of the board's meetings this year, the board came to unanimous decision in endorsing the letter, and Chairman Stone signed off on it.
Yeah, I want to make it very clear that if there's anybody at home watching, that this letter puts the Board of Selectmen on record as being opposed to the DEP draft regulations. And we make it very, very clear that the septic system burden on individual homeowners is excessive. We oppose that as well. It's just totally and completely unworkable.
The letter is a public document and available to read on the town website.
Cape towns need to be represented. They need to be at the table in that final process. When the draft rules were done, there were a lot of people at the table, but Cape towns were not represented.
No, there was not a single town, Cape Cod town on that
Exactly.
committee.
And I think one of the op-eds that we saw was that if you're either at the table or on the menu.
For Cape Media News, I'm Ryan Downs.